Are eggs really bad for your cholesterol? Now, because eggs themselves are quite high in cholesterol, around 200 milligrams per egg, you might then assume that by eating them, you're going to increase your own cholesterol levels. However, a recent study was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition looking at this exact thing. Researchers had participants adhere to 3 different diets for 5 weeks at a time before then moving on to the next one. They wanted to compare the effect that these diets had on the individual's LDL cholesterol. So there was a control diet which mirrored your typical westernized diet, high in cholesterol, high in saturated fat, but they were only allowed to consume 1 egg per week. And in total, this westernized diet contained 600 milligrams of dietary cholesterol per day. Then there was the egg diet. This diet again contained 600 milligrams of cholesterol, but the participants had to consume 2 eggs per day. But the major difference being that this diet was low in saturated fat. And lastly, we have the 0 egg diet, which was low in cholesterol, but it was high in saturated fat. So what did they find? They found that saturated fat had a much bigger impact on LDL than the cholesterol did from the eggs. In fact, the group consuming 2 eggs per day, but with a diet low in saturated fat, actually ended up with lower levels of LDL than the group consuming just 1 egg per week. So in other words, this study showed that eating eggs did not raise LDL cholesterol levels when saturated fat was kept low. And actually, it slightly lowered it when compared to your typical high-fat westernized diet. So for me, this study demonstrates that eggs can be part of a healthy diet, providing that you're keeping your saturated fat intake low.